Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So in the last episode we created this variations table inside editing or creating a product. You can see we have the green and the blue color here. I've set them up as they were before. I've had a size 8 which is now attached to the blue, and a size 6 which is attached to the blue one, and then a size 10 for the green. So we're now gonna go through and create a product drop down for this one. So I'm gonna call this t-shirt instead for this slug. Save that change, just make it a bit more neat. And then basically what I'm gonna do here is now I'm gonna go into the side, gonna go into the products page. There we go. You can see we have a t-shirt with the word test in it. So with that said, let's head back into our code editor. So to get started with, I'm going to open up the terminal. In here, we want to create two LiveWire components. LiveWire, and we want to create a variant selector and a variant drop down. Alright, so with that done, let's head back into our index.blade, the PHP inside the products page here. So in this page, this is again the one we have inside resources, views, products index. I want to create a we created a LiveWire component that we didn't really use it a few episodes back. If you haven't already created it, you can just go in and create it like this. But we already created this, so we have the product one here. I'm just gonna grab this and put it in this instead, so we have this all in a LiveWire component, because we're gonna need that later down the line. And then we can basically go in here now and head into the product LiveWire here and say public, and we want to grab the product model and we want to just have in the product. So we want to just import it like this. Perfect. So what we're doing now is basically we're going to go into the index.blade.php and we're going to create a LiveWire product like this. So what's going to happen now is that it's going to work exactly the same way. Only difference is that we now have this all in one LiveWire component instead of having it all inside here. So with that done now, we have these two we need to create. We need to create the ability to select a variant if a variant is created, or pay without the variant selected. So let's get started with that now. Okay, so let's start with the variant selector. So let's go back into the product page, and in here we want to just create a LiveWire variant selector, and in that case we want to pass through the product. So now that we have passed through the product in here and on the variant selector component, let's make sure that we have the product again accessible. So public product, again we need to specify this as a product model just for consistency. And then let's use product as product model. Perfect. All right, so now that that's passed through, let's head back into our product selector and just get some boilerplate done in the text here. in the variant selector. So let's head back in here, and we want one here where we have a selector. So in the selector, we want to have the product, the variant drop down here. So let's call variant drop down, and let's pass through variations as variations. Perfect. So with that sorted, let's grab all the variations related to this product. So as a starter, I just want to go ahead and mount this application and die dump on this product variations. So I head back into the page here, and you can see we have a lot of different variations here. At the moment, this is how we are essentially structuring them. So as you can see, we have green, for example, so on and so on. So with that done, let's head back into our code and make sure we can present this in a neatly way. So to present this in a neat way, we will use the adjacency list. So let's head back in here and install it. All right, so with that installed, what we can now go ahead and do is we can go ahead and say it has recursive relationship. So if we go back into the product variation, use has recursive relationships, and let's see how this will look like now. All right. So it still seems to be working fine, which is great. So now that we have sorted that out, let's make sure that we can also easily access this. So if we head back into a product drop down, or product select actually, so we want to create the variations. So in here, when we mount, we want to set variations. It's going to be an array of variations. And in here, let's say this variations is the same as this product variations sort by, and in this case, we want to sort it by order, and then group by type, and let's see what we get if we die dump on this now. We get an error. All right, so it's a collection property, of course, so we want to assign this as a collection instead. There we go. What have we got now? All right, so we got the color here, and we got the size. So if we grab the first one here, what do we get then? Let's take a look. And let's take a look at the attributes. We got the color, and then in here we got attributes again, and we got the other color here. And then if we then go ahead and take a look in here, you can see that's what we essentially have retrieved from doing this. Alright, so with that sorted, let's go ahead and pass through those variations. Inside our variant selector, we're now passing those through into the variant drop down, and in here we want to have select with an option. And before we actually go through that, let's iterate through variations as variant. And let's have variant title coming out there. So inside the component now, inside the live file folder, we want to make sure that we have a collection of variations. This is not being printed out, so let's see what's going on here. It's because we obviously forgot to add the end tag here, so you can see now we have green and blue. Perfect. So with that done, we now have these here, and then we want to figure out essentially what variants this exist below this one. So let's add some spacing here and make sure that we have a margin button of 5. And also let's head to Flowbyte. And let's get the select component. And let's get that sorted here so we can actually have it looking a bit nicer. So this is just from the Flowbyte, which will be a link in the description for. So you can see now you have a bit nicer option here to display this. Perfect. We may not want to have the width as full though. So let's go back in here. For now, let's just make the width the size as it is, but we have it designed a bit different looking. Alright, so with that sorted, now we want to essentially find any of the children related to this. So basically, to do that, we want to essentially figure out what the children are when we select this variant, which we will be working on in the next video. So in the next video, we will basically go ahead, select a variant, and as you can see in here, for example, if you select the color blue, you will get anything of size 8 or size 6. So those will be the ones you will be shown if you select that one. So we need to find the children, essentially, of these here, and then we will have an infinitive drop down of variants. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Please hit the like button and subscribe button if you enjoyed the video.